Welcome back to the Manor. Julian McBain here, and we are back with hunting shubs. And today we're going this way. Gonna see what we can see. Today I was at church, and I'm actually recording this on Sunday. I didn't just forget to upload it. I'm legit recording it on Sunday after church. But the sermon today was interesting. It was about being all in, and so I want to talk about that for a few minutes. And I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm still recovering from a cold. My nose is still trying to run away with me. I'm actually on Dayquil even after the bulk of the cold is over because the congestion is just awful. And so I'm feeling fine now because I'm on Dayquil, but you might see some extra jump cuts or whatever if I end up editing this because my face just wants to kind of leak all over the place, and you don't need to be seeing that. So if you see a bunch of extra like cuts in the video, I apologize in advance. But we are going to talk about something today, and it's be hot or be cold, but don't be lukewarm. That was the message of today's sermon. And so I'm not going to go at it from a theological standpoint, although there's plenty to be said about it. I am going to come at this from a more practical standpoint, and that's where I want to kind of dig into it. But before we get started, if you're new to the Manor, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Please take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Also, please consider going to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. If you do, you'll get exclusive content. So, okay, let's talk about be hot, be cold, but don't be lukewarm. And this struck me. Like, I was... one of the things that this cold brought around is just this overwhelming sense of constant exhaustion. It's something that I've been fighting with for a couple of weeks. I'm sure it'll eventually go away, but it's a pain in the ass. But as soon as he said this, it really picked my ears up. And I was like, wait a second. And here's the idea. If you're going to do a thing, be all in, or don't do the thing at all. And that really resonated with me. As you all know, COVID has really kind of messed everything up for everybody, right? All of our lives got turned upside down. We don't even know what we're doing anymore. People are kind of tentatively returning back to real life. And it's been a long journey for all of us. It's been a very traumatic experience for everyone, and we just kind of have to muddle through that. And that's why one of the things that I want to kind of message out there is that, you know, accept the fact that the traumatic experience happened, but don't let it rule your life, right? We can't allow this experience, horrific though it was, and let's be facing it, as far as traumatic experiences go, it could have been far worse. It could have been a mass casualty incident, which in a lot of ways it was, but not in the same way that we think of, where it's an instant mass casualty incident. It could have been the Black Plague, and that would have been even more traumatic than COVID was. So relatively speaking, we got off easy, even though, you know, plenty of people did not get off easy at all. And I'm not trying to be flippant about things. As many of you know, the newer people on the channel probably don't know this, but I spent time in emergency services. And part of that was preparing for avian flu, which, by the way, has a 66% infection mortality rate. That kind of changes your perspective on something that ends up having only a 1.5% infection mortality rate. On the same token, that doesn't mean that those who suffered from it suffered any less than they did, or that those we lost are any less valid than they are. It just means that you have a different perspective on things. And so I'm going to couch this from that perspective. For a lot of you who didn't deal with this on a day-to-day basis for years of your life, this is going to be pretty bad. And so just be aware that, whoa. Be aware I got myself a shub skull. Where'd that sucker go? Sorry, squirrel! Check this shit out. I wish I had an apartment just so I could display this thing. Look at that. It's like a fucking bighorn skull. Anyway. Right. Distractions. back on topic. As you start to get back into real life, right? Allow yourself to be all in. Don't do things halfway. And I'm as guilty as anyone. And I'm going to actually go through a few of these things and some experiences over the last 2 years so you can understand the context of what went through my brain. And so use this as a way to really think about things in your own life. But I'm going to share my experiences. So, okay. Things that I have not been all in on much of my life as of late. The last 2 years have been rough. So we haven't been able to go out. We haven't been able to have, most of my friendships have kind of gone by the wayside, and that's not deliberate. I know I've got friends that watch this. I'm not deliberately ignoring you. Please feel free to reach out. I don't even know where to start. And maybe that's the borderline autism speaking, but it's a thing. I have hobbies. One of those hobbies is fencing. And an incident that occurred shortly after COVID became like a real thing where we had just gotten out of the 15 days to slow the spread. And things were opening back up. And one of the more well-known people in the fencing school that I'm a member of did something really, really stupid and shitty. And so what ended up happening was there were people who decided that made everyone in the school stupid and shitty. And of course, that's not how that works. And they're like, well, why don't you expel them? It's like, that's not how that works, right? You can't, once someone has earned a designation or a thing, you can't take away the thing. That's not how life works. So, it's just like, once you earn a bachelor's degree, they can't just arbitrarily take a bachelor's degree away from you, even if you're a shitty person. And I say arbitrarily, okay, it wouldn't necessarily be arbitrary, but they can't just remove it from you because you earned that shit, right? So, like, I go to a college, I'm earning my bachelor's degree. If I turn out to be a shitty person, the college cannot remove that bachelor's degree from me once it's earned. That's the way it works. Now, they can remove an honorary one, but if it's not honorary, if it's earned, it cannot be removed. That's the way that works. Same idea. Once you earn the scarf cannot be removed. Why aren't there any mobs? I don't know that I've ever been this deep in this cave. I'm a little concerned. Did I get DC'd? I hope not. Oh no, there's more mobs. Okay. We just found a spot where there weren't a lot of mobs. Previously, I always got stuck in that, in this section here, I couldn't beat the shubs, but now I can. I'm marginally cooler. But anyway, so what I did was I kind of got lukewarm on my own school, and that hurt me. That hurt me a lot. And in a lot of ways, Ooh. Hello. Can I beat you? Let's give it a shot. Come on. Ooh, he hits like a truck. Or she hits like a truck. It hits like a truck. Beep, beep. Holy shit. Yeah, I think we're going to stick to the lower level ones. These 40s, I mean, we can do it. But they do hit like a truck. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up becoming lukewarm on my own school. I lost both of my students. And now neither of them will even talk to me. And I think it's because I got lukewarm. I didn't say, screw it, we're not letting this happen to us. And I was trying to do the right thing, and in doing so, I ended up doing the worst possible thing. Like, I didn't want to lose everything that I'd earned, but I wanted to do the right thing too. Not figuring out what the right thing was. And the worst possible outcome came of it because I was lukewarm. And that, of course, caused an enormous number of problems. And not for nothing. Yeah, no, we're going the other direction, Chief. Not for nothing, that was a life lesson, and I didn't know really what to do with it. And I've been struggling with it pretty hardcore for probably the last 2 to 3 months, trying to figure out, where do I go from here? Do I even want to keep participating in this hobby? Do I just want to abandon it and say screw it and pursue other things? Because it's not like I don't have plenty of other things to pursue. Working on school, want to get better with my pistol work, get better at my targeting there. I'm on the path to becoming a minister currently. So, again, long story. But, I'd like to be married at some point in my life, and I'm not even dating anyone. So, all of those things came up, and so that's where my brain went. It's like, well, let's just kind of abandon that. And then I got a phone call, or more accurately, it's a Facebook message that turned into a phone call from someone who was interested in the school. And he's like, are you willing to teach? And this is not a nobody person in this hobby. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the SCA, it has its own nobility, and that nobility is usually couched on achievements. So this particular nobility is a duke, which means he's been king in a kingdom, which is what we call our regions, at least twice. And he's like, I'm interested in learning, is there anyone in this region, in this kingdom that does that? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm here. He's like, are you willing to teach? And I'm like, well, I'm not opposed to it. Let's talk. And so he's still figuring his own path out, which is fine. I don't consider it lukewarm when you're testing the waters. You got to figure out whether a thing's for you or not. That's just life. You got to figure out if the teacher is correct for you. That's also life. And so we went through all of the things that happened and all of the things that came about because of it. And we decided that, okay, we can work with this. We can work with this. And so he wanted to meet up sometime this month, which unfortunately life just isn't going to line up for us in that particular manner. The weekend he had that we would have been able to meet up, I have a big church function. I've got all kinds of family coming up, so I can't do it. But we're going to arrange for things to happen there. And I'm going to speak to members of my group, my local chapter, about meeting up with him and other groups' practices. Bring a whole collection of people down, fight new people. I'll be able to meet up with this guy, and we'll be able to talk and do some sparring and shit. And so there's that. So that's going to be a new adventure. And I was thinking about it today. It's like, is it even worth it? Should I even be doing this? I thought about backing off, and then I took on responsibility in the group again. And should I have done that? Should I just let it go? Fulfill my obligations and walk away. And I felt about like that on a few things as of late. And I realized that a lot of it's up here. And part of it's because of all the shit that's happened due to COVID. Part of it's because of all the shit that's just happened in life. And I know that post-sickness lethargy is a thing. A friend of mine I was chatting with on Facebook, and she's like, how you doing? I'm like, okay. And she's like, what's up? And I said, well, I'm just overthinking everything again. That's what I do. And so that's where the sermon pops up. And the Evangelist Bowers came up with the line, be hot or be cold, but don't be lukewarm. And I was just thinking, that's my problem. I'm being lukewarm about literally everything. And I'm not focusing. Like, I'm dabbling in too many things. Part of that's partially a me problem. I'm dabbling in too many things, but a lot of it doesn't require a lot of time. Like, involved with the State Libertarian Party, that doesn't eat up a lot of time. I only have certain responsibilities there. That's fine. And that doesn't require a lot of extra. Do I want to campaign and run for office again this year? And the answer to that question is something I need to come up with, and I need to come up with it soon. And it might be the answer to that question is no, but I need to be able to answer it. My involvement with the SCA, do I want to be all in, or do I want to not be in at all? And that's what it's got to be. I either need to be all in or I need to not be in at all. And here's the thing. That's where I fence. Which means that I need to be all in. Because fencing is one of the more important things in my life. My school. Thankfully, I'm only doing 1 class per term right now. And that's probably the way it's going to stay. And it's going to stay like that because of time. I wish I could stop working and, you know, quote unquote, be all in on school and just be a full-time student. But you can't do that when, you know, you've got a child to feed and a roof to keep over his head and a roof to keep over your own head. That's not the way it works when you're 38 years old, Chief, okay? Is what it is. Now, if once he's, like, graduated and gone, I have the opportunity to do, like, a semester of residence or a year in a college again, I think that would be actually a really cool experience as an adult student, like doing the college experience again. Of course, there's a lot of things that I wouldn't be able to do because of age or because of other things. Like, I wouldn't do the college parties and shit like that. But just, like, dorm life, right? Nerf wars flying down the hallways again. Oh god, we had such a good time. That was the best part of college, were the fucking Nerf battles. I swear to god. I think that would be a lot of fun. I do think it would be a lot of fun. Now, am I willing to dedicate the $20,000 in loans you have to get to pull that shit again? And I'd have to put my career on hold again? No, probably not. So it's probably not going to happen unless, you know, we create some sort of reality. That is something I've wanted to do. If I were to ever create a reality TV series, put 20 adults back in high school for a year. Like, welcome back to freshman English, motherfuckers. That would be hilarious. Now you know what your kids go through. That would be a blast. That would be, like, straight up hilarious to watch. Anyway, back on track. Don't be lukewarm. It's real important that when you decide to do something, you go all in. You put the time in, you put the effort in. Like, things I'm going to do today after this video. I've got to do my homework, which discussion forum, post, learning journal are the 2 things that I really need to get done today. I've already done my reading. I don't think there's a programming assignment this week, which is good. But, you know, do those things. I'm going to drag my son outside and fence with him. And I don't think he knows that yet, although he might have heard it through the door. Because he was walking by as I said it. I need to clean my pistol, which may or may not happen today. Do that while watching the Russian Badger, probably. By the way, watching that channel, which is like 30-minute shit posts, is a great stress reliever when you're just frustrated. Watch the Rainbow Six Siege playlist. It's the only playlist he has, and it's just like, oh, stress reliever in a video. Because it's just 30 minutes of shit posting. But these are things I need to be all in about. When I'm fencing, I need to be all in. When I'm doing my homework, I need to be all in. Working on my firearm, whether I'm shooting, whether I'm cleaning it, maintaining, making sure I'm doing my draw practice, which is something I really need to get back into. You know, being all there is what you need to be. And that's one of the reasons I limit what games I play. Like, currently I'm only playing Entropia Universe and Star Trek Fleet Command, because I can carry that one on my phone with me. But I'm pretty well all in on the 2 games. Like, I got sick, so you really can't focus on Entropia Universe when you're sick. But being focused on this, because there are other games I enjoy playing. I enjoy playing Halo. Because, yes, I'm from that generation. Well, I'm technically from the GoldenEye generation. But since I can't find an N64 to save my life, and good luck finding players that I can drag over to my house to do local multiplayer, and that shit don't go online, it is what it is. Now, if anyone ever makes an online version of GoldenEye, I am on that shit. Like, 100%. Steam, Valve, anybody. Who developed GoldenEye? Who developed GoldenEye? GoldenEye 007 N64. Who developed that? Like, seriously, who was the Rare. Developed by Rare. Rare. Come back and release it on Steam. Okay? PC. I want to play that shit. Man with the golden gun, which they actually revived in Rainbow Six Siege because they've got the single shot golden deagle. And every time you fire it, you spin the gun and replace the mag. But that was a blast, the laptop gun, the ultimate ambush weapon. You know, you turn down a hallway and you suddenly get blasted in the back by someone's fucking suitcase. They just threw up on a wall. Oh, that was the best. That was the best. So yeah, be all in. Be all in and don't let yourself get distracted like I do. We're going to kill this shub. We're going to head back to TP. So, okay guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. And as always, I really appreciate the support. Shout out to my patrons. I see the list is getting shorter. That's okay. If you do want to become a patron, please consider going to patreon.com/JulianMcBain, and we will see you in the next one.